If it is your first time here, kindly like the video, subscribe. So in this video, we are talking about Maponga. Maponga is really talking passionately about African development. For this case, he's talking about Traoré, what Traoré is doing in Burkina Faso, catapulting Burkina Faso's economy to another level. Traoré is just doing amazing work as far as African development is concerned. So we know Traoré since 2022. He took power through the military coup. But now, even though people doubted him, he's doing a marvelous job. Now, let's have a look at this video. What Traoré is doing in Burkina Faso. Then we can come back and analyze the video further.
On the chair. In some certain cases, not a single iota of adjustment on those policies has happened. So basically, the colonialist is still sitting here, but unfortunately is in black clothes. So the proverb is true. Trees were wondering, how come they're disappearing, until they noticed that actually the handle was one of them.
Do you think
so the black American for me is affected? Yeah. Because the lack of unity on the African continent kills that one voice we want to hear. What Ibrahim Traoré did. I was there a few months ago in October when we welcomed 750 diasporans who were relocating into Burkina Faso. Logistical issues because some of the people who are claiming to be coming from diaspora are self-inflicted economic refugees from Africa who are now coming in through the back door. But that's a conversation for another day. But if all the African governments, there is enough land, there is enough potential. If all African governments can say we have 48 million Afro-Americans or wherever they are, those who want to come back home. I have 200 square kilometers. I have 100, I have 50,000, I have 100,000. I mean, Africa can take India, China, Europe, and America as a continent. Your maps are wrong. We have enough land here for the whole world. Whole world can come and fit in here. So the lack of that one united voice makes it difficult for the Afro-American to walk anywhere in Africa and feel welcome. And that has also resulted in political instabilities, economic issues, and various other elements that we can add in there. So the Berlin Conference created the division, which now has become a source of pain, where Africa can no longer speak with one voice, but we've been fragmented into 55 small little voices. And these superpowers walk into each and every one of us, and they do as they please. How do you expect an economy such as America to come to Swaziland and strike a deal with Swaziland that is less than 900,000 people? What do you do? It's not even a budget for Manhattan. It's not even a budget for the back of town in the Bronx. The whole Bronx together, it is equivalent to a whole country. So when America comes into Swaziland, abuse is bound to happen. Financially, you're outnumbered. Militarily, you're outnumbered. Academically, you're outsmarted. But imagine if 1.4 billion people, 1.5 billion, some say 1.6 billion Africans can stand together, one army, stand together, one satellite, stand together, one passport, stand together, one currency, one stock exchange, stand together, one language for commercial purposes. Mandarin is being forced on us right now before we even force our own languages on ourselves. Stand together with the orderless Africa, the movement of goods and services, the negotiations on the international table. 55 of us, we don't even have a seat on the Security Council. 55 countries, 1.5 billion people are not represented on the Security Council. But a country like Ukraine is already campaigning and trying to rush into the Security Council. This is the nonsense that we are talking about, that unity divides us. But I think these borders divide us, but unity will bring us together. Divided we have fallen, united I think we will stand.
We really have to emulate Traoré, to be honest. And even though he is not dubbed as a democratically elected leader, this gentleman is doing an amazing job in Burkina Faso. Look, And most of the jobs that he's doing in Burkina Faso, most of the development that he's doing in Burkina Faso, the money that is being used in Burkina Faso, they are not borrowing the money. So the money is coming from the country's kitty, the so-called Faso Mebo. So if you're new here, if you don't know what Faso Mebo is, it's just an initiative that the government of Burkina Faso started so that Africans of goodwill, both in Burkina Faso, both in Africa and both abroad, they can come and contribute to the kitty to make sure that the country is developing to another level. So most of this development is done through the Faso Mebo initiative. Money contributed by Burkina Fasos, money contributed by Africans, money contributed by Africans who are in the diaspora, just to make sure that Burkina Faso is catapulting in matters economy. So you can imagine this gentleman took power in 2022 through a military coup. But I normally don't like calling it a military coup. I normally like calling it an extraordinary change of power. So he took power in 2022. That is approximately 4 years, if I'm not wrong. So 4 years since he took power. And when you go to Burkina Faso, man, you can love what Traoré is doing. So look at the roads, building classy road. Look at the, so mining sector has now, the mining sector is now seeing profit, unlike before other leaders. So we have to emulate what Traoré is doing, even though he's not loved by other presidents. And that is for a fact, to be honest. Traoré is not loved by other African presidents. Why? Because I think we have this notion that Traoré is performing better. So people tend to love Traoré. So that makes him not being loved by other African leaders. That being said, you can also remember that Traoré does not even make speeches in African Union. Why? Because African Union think that Traoré was not democratically elected in power. Of course, they are true, because according to their charter, they have to elect Traoré democratically. So if you are elected democratically, you are eligible to make speeches in African Union. You are eligible to attend the African Union meeting, something that Traoré did not do. So that being said, Traoré does not appear in African Union. Not even Traoré alone. We also have Assimi Goïta of Mali, the president of Niger. Both of them, they don't appear in the African Union. But you know what? Even though they are not appearing in African Union, as long as they are contributing positively towards the growth of their countries, then we as Africans have to applaud them, and we have to share what they are doing. This is what we are doing. We are sharing what they are doing, and they need at least our support in one way or another. So if you are an African of goodwill, both in Africa and both outside Africa, you can contribute to the kitty that Burkina Faso normally have, the Faso Mebo initiative. You can just contribute $10, $20, whatever you can, just to make sure that Traoré gets the money to develop the country and to take that country to another level. If we are taking to another level, we as Africans will be so great and will be happy to see the development that is happening in Burkina Faso. So thank you for showing up. If it's your first time here, man, kindly consider subscribing to this channel, and we will meet next time, God willing. Thank you.